Jim broke a snare through that song, so...
Broke a snare. There you go. There you go.
I'll sing this one just so you can know that, because that's a new snare, right? Okay, no problem, you take a minute. I wrote this song for my mother back, God, a few years ago, a good few years ago. I was living in New York, and when my dad passed, I thought that she was 62 when my dad passed away, and I thought that maybe she'd meet someone else. I wanted her to meet someone else. She didn't. She just kind of pined away, and that's okay. That's, you know, but just I really wanted her to. My mother was a fucking force of nature. She was always the best conversationalist. The kettle was always on. There was always a little gossip and a little story, she was just the most amazing people. I could sit around the table and just listen to her talking to anybody for hours and hours and hours and learn so much. She certainly had the gift of the gab. The kind of people you're just comfortable with, because they'll just, it's not that they'll fill the silence, but they just don't feel uncomfortable. They're just like Gareth. Gareth for anything, it's just, yeah, right. It's just a beautiful ease in company, and I dedicate this to anybody who is easy to be around. That wonderful, easy company that we all crave. But anyway, I wrote this for her, and at the time it was a kind of a, you know, if you want to love someone, if you want love, it will come, you just have to be ready. That was basically the idea of the song. And she didn't, and that's okay. But one of the kind of downsides of being a musician and being on the road a lot is that you miss kind of major events in one's life. And I missed my father's passing, I missed my mother's passing. I was in France when my mom died, I was in America when my dad died. And when I got the news that my mom had passed, she passed in 22, not of COVID. She was basically kind of kept away from it because she had emphysema, and if she'd got COVID, she would have been dead straight away. So they kind of kept her away from everybody, and I think she died of loneliness, which is kind of hard because especially people who need to be around people, who need to speak, who just conversation and connection is their lives. I just want to, it's for anybody whose parents or anybody who's kind of where that life is looming, just fuck it, just stay at home and fucking die, because at least you're around your people. Anyway, that's my opinion. So I sing this for her. When I heard she'd passed, I ran for the ferry. There's a ferry. It was a 6-hour drive to the ferry in France, and I made the boat. And that evening I was on the boat, and I went up on deck. It was a perfect, beautiful French evening. We were crossing the Atlantic towards the English Channel to head up the Irish Sea into Dublin. It's a 14-hour ferry, a beautiful ferry, and a few hours in, I saw this bird hovering at the front of the ship, this beautiful seagull, like way up in the sky, but just like almost guiding the boat, you know. And I was standing with Myra on the deck of the ship, and it was a beautiful night, but there was nobody on deck. It was one of those kind of strange nights where everyone was below. And I'm looking at the bird, and I just said to Myra, look, there she is. And Myra was like, oh, it's beautiful, like one bird, like, because the song is called Bird of Sorrow, and it was that one bird above the thing. And then just as I saw it, and as I spotted it, and as we had a hug, shit from head to toe, like I hit that shit. The crazy thing is, it didn't hit Myra, it didn't hit the boat at all. There was no shit in the boat. There was shit in my eyes, up my nose. I don't know how it got up my nose. It was in my mouth. I could taste it for hours. Just fucking a strip of bird shit the full length of my body. And I fell around the place laughing, and I was like, yes, it is her. That's my fucking mother. That's amazing. I'm sure you guys know what I mean. Those little signs from beyond. This is for her.